Respected dignitaries on the dais, my fellow friends, warm greetings. I would like to I would like to start my presentation by bringing in two news. Any innovations brings in news, one good news and one bad. Let me begin with the bad news that innovations is purely going to make teachers go back to school and make them think again on their learnings and so that they can educate more better. We implemented a pilot project on digital education studios in Maharashtra, trying to understand how the implementation worked. This was undertaken in a school in Konkan, Maharashtra. It's a pathshala where we implemented this project. Where students got adapted, were given a first-time experience on digital learning, and teachers also were actually so much, had a different experience of going through the entire digital ecosystem. Here we see our tablets being used. How the entire system works is that the tablets determine content from the servers, and the students are able to adapt or get the information on their devices, trying to bring a more personalized learning experience. Here we see teachers working on the different models for them to work on so that they can impart this learnings to their students and get them to work on different projects. This is a server which actually stores all the content. It stores content from Wikipedia, it stores content from different multimedia, digital textbooks. So we call this concept a digital education studio. Why studio? Because studio is where actually content is created, studio is where knowledge is created, and this is something that we really believe in, is in creation of knowledge. This model facilitates existing learning methodology and enables students to learn beyond textbooks, not restricting their knowledge just to textbook, but go outside in an open wide web, other pedagogies. Model is based on entire giving textbooks to students on their computing devices, give them digital libraries, 3 million books for them to download and read them without any wait. Virtual labs for physics, chemistry and biology. How many schools actually in rural India do have proper lab systems, and that's where we try to create and simulate them, enabling the students to work on the simulated process. The key features of this concept being personalized access to content, implementation of learning management systems, interactive sessions and practice sessions being given by their teachers to the students, digital libraries and labs, enhanced learning tools like search, quizzes, question banks which are directly imparted on their tablet PCs, collaborative framework through whiteboard and discussion rooms, multiple students participating on the same project on their devices, online test and evaluation framework, assignment management systems enabling teachers to forward and evaluate assignments. The time they forward an assignment, students start working and there is an immediate results that are being evaluated. Web-based platform for teachers and authors to collaborate on content creation process, so right content is being directed, and distributed performance grading for students and teachers also. Even teachers are being evaluated for the performance of the students. The benefits that were derived by this studio process were providing every child an equal opportunity to learn, standardization on education quality and implemented or innovative teaching methodology. Textbook saving, we saw that if digitization comes in, naturally there's no need for textbooks to be printed. So saving paper and saving environment. Learning beyond textbooks through Wikipedia, educational videos on YouTube. Nourishing unique aptitudes and skill amongst children like astronomy, literature. Students would like to have learned different things on which are normally not taught in schools. Something like learning Sanskrit. We don't get Sanskrit teachers in school these days anymore. Providing access to thousands of books through e-libraries, providing access to thousands of experiments to be carried on science, geometry, on virtual labs, even to an extent of performing a whole heart surgery and showing a student how the whole thing works out. At school levels, we connect them with an broadband access where content is unifiedly being distributed to all the schools. At the school levels, all it requires is a server, a battery backup, and the switches to enable. So this is about the deployment plan. What we ended up doing is doing the whole network planning, site survey. I'll just move on with this very quickly. So this is our entire network management system where knowledge is from unified central location is being passed on to different locations, and these are different simulated models where students would be students are working to create their own content from astronomy, where students can actually view from telescopy which are kept at very far away locations and measure the distances between stars, visit a nearby galaxy in reality, create their own weather forecasting systems and understand how weather would be changes, or even understand what speed of comets would be and at the time of reaching to the sun. With regards to biology, actually understanding the DNA modeling, even to an extent of seeing the body and the different body parts and how the functions of each body parts are being evaluated. With regards to chemistry, studying different modelings for atomic reactions with different molecules and atoms, creating the whole model and the effects thereby. For physics, the entire model is based on a software called Scilab. Scilab enables students to perform different physics experiments, creating the whole model and see the effects on different parameters. Maths would be learned in a very different way, where geometry would actually be created in a real-time method. And finally, even computing, where they would be writing their own software system, would enable to write their own programs where they would understand why and how those particular programs can be used and the creation. And lastly, of course, for higher education, this is with regards to electronics and methodology for them to create and simulate these models entirely on their PCs. So all computing models are already there in place and they are ready to be adapted. All it needs is that the students be given an opportunity and are trained on the implementation of these models. And with that, we look forward to a content creation on the studios. And finally, I conclude my presentation by bringing the good news that in times to come by, we see the students actually teaching their teachers on how different models can be created. Students are very fast, very adaptive, and they are very excel in adapting newer technologies. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Milind.